Hello, I'm going to show you our new statistical reporting feature, and this is located in our reports button next to the clear filters right here. So to create a report, all you have to do is have your game selected, whether it's one game or a couple games. You can run a report over any number of games that you want, and then just click the reports button, and then our reports window will pop up. And we have two tabs here. The first tab is a system reports, and these are pre-configured reports that we've already made for you. And then we have a My Reports tab, which allows you to create your own custom reports with your custom tags like formations, coverages, play calls, fronts, blitzes, things like that. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So we can look at a basic play type report, and this shows you a breakdown of how many pass plays Chicago had over the last two games, how many run plays, PATs, kickoffs, field goals. I can click on my yards report here, and this shows me how many yards they gained for pass and run on these two games. I can click into a downs report that shows me where these plays are happening on particular downs for Chicago. Now, one thing I want to show you here is that you can customize the way this interface looks. So you can click this button here to minimize the configure window. This configure window is grayed out when you're in our system reports. You can only use this when you're in your My Reports here. So in our system reports here, again, we can minimize this window. I can even grab this window here, make it bigger, make it smaller, depending upon what I'm doing at the time. And when I have a report up, I can also print it. There's a print button right down here. Allows me to pull it up, and I can print this. Now, another thing I want to show you here is that these reports are tied very closely to the filtering in the grid here. So when you've got a filter up, a live filter up, this report is going to pull data from that live grid, from that live filter that you have up. So for example, if you want to look at a play types report here and you only want to see Chicago data, maybe for just run and pass plays, you can do that using the filter. So if you were doing a film breakdown session, whether it was by yourself or in front of your guys, maybe you had a filter up. So let's pull a filter up here, and we'll do all of Chicago with the ball, and then I just want to see runs and passes here. So then I'm going to click my reports button, and now my reports will reflect just Chicago with the ball, their runs and pass plays. So as I go through my different reports, I'm going to see that's also reflected. So just Chicago, where these runs and passes happened on the particular parts of the field here. Gains by passes and runs and so forth. So pretty powerful on the different things you can do with it. So let's go to My Report. So let's create our own report. Let's customize it and build it ourselves here. So you can organize your reports in this window using folders. So let's create a new report, and I'm just going to create a play type. Let's go versus field. I want to see where these plays are happening on the field for a team. So I've got my new report here, and I've got my configure window right here. Okay, my report's empty, so I need to configure it, add the data to it so the report knows how to build it. So this first part, this is my measure. This is what I'm going to measure. So I want to measure my play types. I want to see what play types are happening in this report. So I'm going to choose from the drop down my play type. The aggregator is just what kind of data this is. Is it a sum of, say, total yards? Is it a count for the number of passes, number of runs? Is it a minimum value, a maximum value, or an average? And I'm going to choose a count because I want to see how many runs, how many passes are happening on parts of the field. And then I can define my axes, my top axis and then my left axis. And you can configure these a number of different ways. So I'm going to show you the way that I like it. So on the top axis, I'm going to put my play type. And then on my left axis, I'm going to put my team ball. And then I'm going to add another dimension and add my field. So as you add more dimensions to an axis here, they become subcategories of the highest row. So the first row is team ball. So this is going to be the top category here, the top dimension on the left axis. As I keep adding values below it, these will be subcategories of this. So this is going to show team ball and then the fields for each team with the ball. So once I've created this, I can click Save and Configure, and it creates my report. So let's talk about the configure again and how this translates to this. So again, for my measure, I've got my play type. I'm measuring play type. I want to see how many play types are happening in this report. The aggregator tells me what kind of value this is. Am I counting the number of play types, the number of passes, the number of runs, or would I be summing up like say the total yards for passes, the yards per run, and then my axes here, my dimensions. My top axis is my play type, so my columns here are my play types, and then my left axis, my rows, my top, my parent is going to be team with ball, which is Chicago. Then my subcategories are field. And so this is the field now. So now I can see Chicago. I can excuse me. I can see where Chicago likes to throw the football in the field and where they like to run the football. So we can see they have a larger tendency to run the football in the red zone than when they're in the field here, and vice versa. And again, you can print this report here. I can minimize this window. And there you go.